Welcome to the Jboy Show, hosted by Jake Crain, the fastest growing sports show in the nation.
I'm Coach Hugh Freeze.
This is Super Bowl champion Brandon Graham.
Hey, this is DJ Shockley, and you're watching.
And thanks for watching the Jboy Show.
Hello, everybody, and thanks again for joining us on another edition of the Jboy Show. Have another great guest. As we usually do, always like to bring the guys on that can really take us kind of behind the scenes, guys that have played, coached, some that haven't, but this is a guy I'm really excited about. But before we get to him, I want to tell you about betonline.ag. I talk about him every day, but I'm not just saying, it's not just me saying stuff. It's not just me trying to make you go join them, which I hope you do. It's an unbelievable place, but they have an online casino that's always open. We know March Madness is going right now. And the bets are crazy, whether you got parlays, teasers, props, however you want to do it. Who's going to win the tip? Who's going to cover the spread? And of course, I try and throw my stuff out there every now and then. We've been pretty hot lately, but make sure you check out betonline.ag today. We got Major League Baseball coming up as well. A great sport to bet, especially if you get on a little streak and know your team. But without further ado, let me bring in first team All-SEC guard, a guy that if you've kept up with SEC basketball at all, you're going to know who he is. And if you're not a Georgia fan, you probably didn't like him when your team played against him because all he did is a walking bucket at the end of the day. And that's Mr. JJ Frazier all the way from Italy. JJ, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, excited to get you here. And, March Madness is crazy. We all know how nuts this tournament has been already. And we just got to the Sweet 16. And I know there's been upsets in tournaments in the past. UMBC beating Virginia. You go back and look Chaminade, all this stuff. But why do you think this tournament has been just extra crazy? I don't know another way to put it. It's been the most mad of the madness, in my opinion.
Because I feel like it's a level playing field. I mean, you got to think as it is like it's the bubble, just one game bubble. You know what I mean? So those guys have that time to rest. They all got there the same day. You know what I mean? It's equal amount of time. Like Virginia. They was one of those teams where I picked to lose simply for the fact they was battling the COVID protocols and all of that, and against a team that was there, ready, you know what I mean? And so I think that's just the protocols of what's going on in today's society it helps.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it is a true level playing field. I mean, guys aren't having to fly from one coast to the other and stay at a new place and practice at a new place. And JJ always saying, everybody talks about it, it's the truth. It seems to me that teams that do the best in this tournament are the teams that have veteran guards. We know how important big men are, but the game of basketball has changed a little bit. I mean, now a lot of it's a track meet. You got guys that play center that are shooting threes that maybe aren't great down on the block, but they're going to bring that opposing center out. Well, you're a guy that played the position. You were a dog, no pun intended. Sure. And, you were aggressive, but you knew how to play at different paces. You knew how to play during a rock fight. You knew how to play during a track meet. What is it about veteran guards? Is it just the pace, or is it so much more?
I think when you're a guard in general, but especially when you become more and more experienced in the game of basketball, you know what teams you're supposed to run on and can run on, and what teams they're better than. They're better in the track meet than you are, but they're worse in the half court game. So you have to pick and choose when to run and when not to run. So like with LSU, like if one of my Georgia teams were playing this LSU team, like bro, we're not about to, you know what I mean? Like, we're not about to get up and down with these dudes. It's like, you understand what I'm saying? So why 100%. Why would we try to get up in the hundreds when they have 6 and 7 guys that can get you 20? And we may have 1 or 2, maybe 3. So we're going to keep this game in the 60s and 70s because 2 or 3 guys can win a game when it's 60 and 70. So that's the way we play.
Yeah, well, we always talk about tempo in football, JJ. You hear about it. They're a fast-paced offense. They're going to get up and go real fast. Well, in basketball, I don't think a lot of people know this. Like, you're not just playing one style. Like you said, it's a game plan. And the teams that are able to play fast and slow it down. You look at Gonzaga. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a complete team. And I think that's what separates Baylor and Gonzaga from everybody else. They're just complete teams. They really don't have a weakness. Am I wrong or right in that?
That's a national championship game, man.
100%.
I really do because I have a bias because Davion Mitchell is down from the area that I'm from, and I just love his game because he's played so hard. But it's like those three guards, man. It's like then you have the Gonzaga depth, and it's like the tempo that they play with the balance, with the scoring from different areas of the floor. And Baylor is the same way. Baylor, I don't think is as big as Gonzaga. That's why I really want to see the matchup. I would like to see the matchup between Davion Mitchell and Jalen.
Man, I was just about to say, you took the words out of my mouth, JJ. That's exactly what I was about to say.
Because it's like they some dogs. So you're going to get the best out of that game. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to get the best athletes in collegiate basketball, as well as skilled, fundamentally sound, plays hard, plays smart, well coached, and that's very rare to find. So I really hope that matchup happens.
Without a doubt. They're on a collision course. That's what it looks like. And again, a lot of people pick Baylor or Gonzaga. I actually picked Baylor. I love their physicality. A Timmy down low, the Drew Timmy guy for Gonzaga is unbelievable. Anybody with a headband and high socks is a problem that's playing at a place like Gonzaga.
My boy, a problem. I like it. I love his confidence more.
Yeah,
he really doesn't care, man. He don't care who he playing. He gonna talk his trash. So like you have to respect that. Like you have to respect somebody no matter what's the situation. Up 10, down 10, he's the same person. So when you have that type of guy, your team is always gonna be even killed because you're gonna look at him and he's not worried about being down 10. You just gotta give him the ball 5 times and you might be tied. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the 100%. Mindset. That's the mindset that he has, and I feel like that's the mindset that team has. I also picked Baylor to win. I just think their guard play it's on another level. Yeah, it's on another level.
Yeah, and Davion to me is him and Alvarado from Georgia Tech are the two best defensive guards I've seen. The Alvarado dude from Georgia Tech was a problem as well, but Davion, his offensive game, and it's really since he transferred from Auburn, his
more versatile on the defensive end.
I agree. He's physically, stronger, bigger.
Yeah. I like Alvarado's game. He's more of a ball hawk. Like Davion can really just sit there and lock you down. And I feel like, at the end of a game, who's guarding the other team's best players. You understand what I mean? Yeah. And so, like, when you have that guy over there and everyone knows, but then you also have another guy in Vital who can do the same thing, just bigger, I feel like that's very hard to beat. And I know they lost 2 games and Gonzaga hasn't. But
different schedule. You put Gonzaga in the Big 12,
and Baylor was undefeated before that pause. I believe that pause kind of took the rhythm, but they got it, now. And I feel like you're seeing the best Baylor.
Yeah, and JJ, I want to get into the SEC in a second, but I just got to ask you. I watch a guy, and I used to watch you heat up. I used to watch you get hot, whether it's driving, whether it's shooting, the mid range, the three, the floater, stuff like that. Can you talk about what it's like in a game at that level? Because a lot of us go out to the rec and can shoot, put some points in the basket. But when you're playing in those big games and you're just cooking, is it just, and again, you're a guy running the show, want to get everybody involved and all that's great. But basketball is a great sport. They call it a heat check for a reason. If you're hot, they're really into bad shot. What is it like being in that zone? Is it just you in the basket? Is it just really you in the basket?
Yeah, man. For me, like I play point, so I've always had to keep it balanced as a point guard. I never wanted to be known as a scoring point guard, but that's what I did. So that tag naturally came with it. But there was only a handful of times where I was locked in: Mississippi State, Kentucky, Auburn. But it was me in the rim. It didn't matter who was in front of me, man, because it was like coach was starting to see me get hot, right? And he would put me in positions, ball screens, pin downs, things I work on every day. So that just made it's like now it's just like batting practice, like riding the bike.
I like that.
It's just getting to what I know, so the comfort was there. So the hand that I saw was just, a figure of my imagination. There's nothing just you know what I mean? So
I'm gonna say I know what you mean. I was never looking in a game like that, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's like, so I don't see anything, I don't feel anything. So it's a different feeling, man. It's like an out of a body experience, because it's like, for me, I never realized I scored that much until after the game was over and I go to media, and I'm like, damn, I had 3 35? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I swear, because I would get mad. I'm like, dang, man, I'm at the 4 shots I missed, it would feel like 10, you know? So it was like, I feel like I finished with 18, and in reality, I finished with 30.
Yeah, and it's so amazing to watch, especially when guys get on heaters like that. And you did it multiple, and I saw it with my own eyes. You know, I saw it with my own eyes. But before we get to more, we're gonna hop about the SEC, hop into some conversation, the NCAA tournament. But I do gotta give a shout out to our sponsors over at eBay.com/sneakers. That's right, eBay.com/sneakers. If you want a new pair, you want some vintage pair from Jordans all the way to whatever you want, it's eBay. They're going to have it. They've got a whole team of authenticators. They're making sure that shoe is exactly what you want. The tongue, the laces, every part of it, the box, the logo, no games, no gimmicks, just the shoes you want at great prices in a very quick time. We all know how good eBay is about getting it out and making sure it's what you ordered. So head over to ebay.com/sneakers today and tell them Jboy sent you. I got a bunch of pairs I've cut from eBay, but we're here with JJ Frazier, former first team All-SEC guard for the Bulldogs of Georgia there in Athens, doing his thing professionally over in Italy. And JJ, I got to get to the SEC, man. And you were first team All-SEC in 2017. And just like me and a bunch of our friends out there, you've watched the SEC continue to grow and the SEC continue to build depth and really make basketball a priority. You look at these new arenas, you look at the coaches that they've hired all the way up and down the ladder, and I'm going to get into a few of those in a second. But how cool is it for you? And I got a theory, and, you know, you may think I'm crazy. Some people do, I guess. I just believe when the SEC makes its mind up, it wants to be the best at something. It's only a matter of time. It's not if, it's when. And I think in the next 3 to 5 years, the SEC will be at the top of college basketball from a depth. I mean, look at the draft right now, JJ. Go look at the draft from last year. They're already having guys. You look at Ant going 1. You had a Coro going. So you can go down the list. They're going to have more this year. Moses Moody. I can literally go down the list. Do you see a change in the SEC, even from when you played, about putting even more emphasis on not just having Kentucky and Florida be good, but everybody be good? Now, there's some teams that are still trailing, but the emphasis is there. The infrastructure is there. I
think now SEC ADs are putting emphasis on basketball as much as they are football. And I believe once they do that, like the Big Ten does for both sports and the ACC does for basketball, you understand? SEC will get all the great talent because the campuses of the SEC are beautiful, for one. So then you have the Power 5 conference, and the football is known for SEC. Now we have 8 solid teams in basketball in the SEC, maybe 10. You know, so it's like if we can now get that to 14, where it's a battle day in and day out, where we're not looking for, okay, Wednesday we might can play a little less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I know 100% what you're talking about.
And it's definitely becoming that, because like I said, that I believe the ADs are now realizing that the coaches that are coming in isn't going to settle for mediocrity around the programs. So you have to give them some help in order to want to build something. And I think ADs are realizing that basketball, that relationship is needed just as much as it is in football.
Without a doubt. And at the end of the day, basketball is a revenue-making sport. It's really just football and basketball. So when it comes down to the revenue aspect as well, I mean, those are the two. College baseball, you may break even. Maybe in some places a little bit, you make a little bit. But football and basketball, the money makers, and the SEC, like you say, have these unbelievable campuses, these unbelievable cathedral arenas that people are already adding to them. Wouldn't be surprised to see Alabama get something pretty soon. But looking at the tournament right now, JJ, you've got Alabama and Arkansas left. And I'll be the first one, I've said it the whole year. I don't think the SEC was –
only 2 teams left, right?
The only 2 teams out of the SEC are Alabama and Arkansas, because I don't think this year was an elite year for the SEC. You know what I'm saying.
If I would have played in the SEC this year, I probably would have averaged 22 or 23.
Yeah, you would have put up points.
But I think there's no hand checking and stuff. Easy. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, and 2, I can't tell you what a foul is in basketball anymore. I can't tell you what a foul is or what a catch is in football.
I love Thomas, because he goes to the free throw line like 15 times a game. And I was like, man, I would live that. I would take 6 shots a game and get to the line 10 times a game.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think they're calling more charges right now than I've ever seen in college basketball. I have never seen this many charges in my whole life. It's like a credit card, man.
Yeah,
Everybody gets a charge.
Yeah, that shit whack.
Yeah, it really is. I don't like it. I think it's filtering down from the NBA. They actually have to give flop warnings now in college basketball. I think everybody just started seeing they're like, okay, well, it's a flop warning. We never used to have flop warnings, JJ.
Yeah, if I'm sliding in front of you and you hit me chest on, obviously block a charge. But like when I'm gathering up, I feel like you have to come meet me in there, play on the ball, foul me. You know what I mean? But that block charge, it's a lot of games won or lost off that block charge.
Yeah,
and if you don't call it as an official, like that's a hard play for an official too. Because in the heat of a game, if it's a bang bang play and he doesn't call it and he misses a layup, they're mad that he doesn't call it. But if it's a blocking foul, they're mad that he doesn't call a charge. You know what I mean? So I feel like you have to get rid of it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. And so looking at this Alabama and Arkansas team, Alabama, obviously Abilene Christian beats Texas, knocks them out, which to me was the biggest upset of the tournament. Yeah. The way I'm looking at it right now, I couldn't believe that when it came down to it, just because the personnel and the size was so different. Yeah. But when you look at these two teams, Alabama's playing a hot UCLA team that's got a big man. That's Alabama's one weakness. Maryland didn't have that, but Alabama, if they're going to hit 23s, then it's not going to matter. But
bro, I ain't worrying about that one.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I feel like those guys are so self-confident in themselves. Mm-hmm. And then you put that on top of the continuity they have within each other and the enthusiasm within their coaching staff. Like I don't have them losing to UCLA.
Oh yeah, I don't think. Yeah, there's a reason they're
6 point favorite.
Like, yeah, there's a reason they're 6 point favorite.
I may be wrong because it is basketball, but just me seeing how UCLA played and how Alabama was tested in that first game, and then came back that second game like, yo, look, bro. You know what I mean? We're just gonna show y'all this is what we really look like. They're not gonna follow that game up with a, you know what I mean, with a stinker. Like I feel like that's what they would have to do to lose to UCLA.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Arkansas is going to beat Oral Roberts. I do think they're going to beat them. But then you run into the Baylor boys, man. And listen, Arkansas, I love Eric Musselman. Yeah, I would love to play for Eric Musselman. They ain't beating Baylor, JJ. They're not doing it.
It's different levels. But I will say this. If Moses plays, like if he takes his game to another level.
He's got to shoot though, JJ. He's got to shoot.
Yeah, because I don't like the fact like you the best player and you taking 5 shots.
Yeah.
But I don't think he will have. I think he will understand that. That's why I say that comes with the basketball IQ. I think he will understand against a team like Baylor, he can't go missing. So I feel like he would have to take 18 to 20 shots. And if he's efficient, 48% and up, they have a chance. The issue is, even if Davion is not guarding him, I say put Davion on the second best guard, and that shit is locked.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
No, you're gonna force their hand.
And so then Maceo T can guard Moses well enough where it's tough. You know what I mean? So that's why I say it's just different level, man. I think Baylor just has too much.
I think too. And again, Moses can get his and they can still lose. To me, Arkansas's got to get Baylor in foul trouble early. I think that's what you got to do.
But how can you though? Because it's not like other teams haven't tried that.
Yeah.
Like Drew just let them boys play 2 fouls. Hey, bro, be smart. So it's like, okay, we may give up a bucket, but Baylor can score 2. They're not just a defensive minded. So I like the fact that they think, okay, I can't get a foul back, but I can get a bucket back.
Yeah.
So I have a foul, and I probably should give a foul to stop this bucket, but I can get a bucket back. And I feel like that's smart basketball. When you're a small, you don't have the depth like Baylor does. Like they play 7-8 guys. They don't have the much depth. So it's like you can't just be out there fouling. And then once you get in foul trouble, when you depend so heavily on your guard play, one of those 3 guys getting foul trouble it's going to be a tough.
Yeah.
So
I agree 100%. I mean, I think it is what it is. You got to try your strategy, but that's what makes Baylor tough. They got to answer for pretty much everything, and they're not afraid. Coach Drew isn't afraid, like you mentioned. My last question for you, JJ, and it's something that this just surprised me. To me, everybody talks about, because, Georgia football's won a ton of games. They've been in the Natty, lost one, stuff like this. With this new regime at Georgia, why can Georgia not be more successful in basketball with all the talent, JJ? You can walk outside. I mean, look at Bruce Pearl and Auburn. They just come in Atlanta. They get Jabari Smith. They get Jared Harper. They get Bryce Brown. They get other. What is holding Georgia back from being – because I don't see – how Georgia cannot be dominant. I said the same thing about Alabama up until this year. It just doesn't make sense to me. And again, big basketball fan, feel like I understand it really well, can communicate it, know what a 1-3-1 is, know what a 3-2 is, 2-3, whatever you want to call it. But what do you think Georgia has to do to take the next step and become the Georgia that they can be?
Okay, well, you asked a few questions there. So the first question I will answer, I think, is the situation of being as good as Georgia football, like the way Kirby Smart elevated Georgia football. Mm-hmm. Kirby Smart came in with the genuine mindset of wanting to elevate Georgia football because he understands Georgia football. You know what I mean? Like, I think you have to have a relationship with Georgia, not the University of Georgia, but with Georgia, to really understand how to really get the kids from Georgia. Because for us, like for me, have you met Bruce Pearl?
Oh yeah, I've had him on the show.
Don't you feel like Bruce is genuine?
He is 100% himself. It's not fake.
Outside of all the shit they say about him, forget the NCAA. Just talking to Bruce. Don't you feel like Bruce is a genuine guy?
He's 100% himself, and people can realize that.
So if that man walks into your house and talks to you as a young man and your family, say, "Hey, I want you to come play for me, but this is family," or whatever Bruce says, but he makes the guys feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves, bigger than him. So with that, he's going to get any guy he wants from the South because that's how we've grown up.
That's exactly
we understand loyalty. You understand what I'm saying?
Man, so born and raised, man. I understand it just like you do.
So it's like when you feel that type of mutual respect and love from a guy that you're thinking about spending your next 4 years around, because you're going to be around him more than you're around your parents. So you have to understand this can be a genuine relationship because it has to be. You understand what I'm saying? Like your coach has to be there for you, or the staff does. So if nothing on there is genuine, you won't be able to elevate. You understand what I mean? Because then you won't get any guys that genuinely wants to be there. Because if you're genuine and then you get some guys that genuinely want to be there, you're going to win. Because they're going to give everything they have to winning games for you in the university that they committed to. Mm-hmm. That's one part of elevation, man. And I think people don't understand that. I think a lot of people just hire just because, it's like it has to fit. That doesn't mean this guy's a bad coach or this place is a bad place to coach at. It's you just might not fit. You might not fit together. You might not understand what works here. We love your system, but you may not understand as a personality how to fit in to get the guys that we need to elevate. So then we'll be mediocre. So I feel like a lot of people are understanding that, and the people who aren't are still losing. You understand what I mean? Because
I think you're exactly right.
Because the G Leaguers are options now. So these guys don't really have to go to school. Now they're going to somewhere they want to play. They want to be a part of something. Yeah. So if they feel like you're genuine, and then when they get there, they realize that you're not going to elevate. So
that's
I feel
exactly right.
I feel like that matters, man. Like, and I don't think people understand that to the concept from a basketball mind. And so that's part of the process. And I feel like once we understand that process as a basketball community, I think a lot of collegiate basketball teams, if they also put the funding into trying to elevate, I think it would be a more balanced a balanced competitive advantage overall. I don't think it'll be a top to bottom. I think it'll be a lot of teams that can beat each other, and I think that's what we need in basketball.
Man, JJ, I think you're exactly right. I always say it's hard to trick a 17 and 18-year-old kid. They see fake people walking up and down the hallway every day in high school. And the coaches, when I used to recruit that were fake, it used to make it easy on me because I was going to tell you who I really was, why I really wanted you.
Like, bro,
and
I'm not doing none of this. You know what I mean? Because I know, how can you act one way, but I know who you are?
That's exactly right.
So how can, and then, because then you're still raising young men. Like, this is why I be trying to tell people, because like, if I didn't have Mark Fox, if I would have had another coach that, not another coach, but a coach that didn't really care about his players, like, I don't think I would have been who I became.
That's a great point.
Because he really genuinely pushed me to the edge and really dangled me off and said, if you want to quit, I drop you. But if you're willing to fight back and if you're willing to make something out yourself, I'm going to help you. You understand what I'm saying? And the fact that I said, you know what, coach, like, let's do it. Then
I respect that.
Yeah, because now that's my dude. It's no longer he's my coach. That's my friend. So the loyalty between me and coach is like, nah, we don't care about that basketball stuff no more. Like, that was in another tenure. He's in a different place. You understand? We talk as friends. We don't even talk basketball. Yeah. And that's why I tell people that matters, to have somebody that cares about your kid as if he's their own. You know what I mean? Especially now in this climate. That's part of elevation, man.
It is. JJ, this has been awesome, man. This has been wonderful. I really appreciate you joining us. I got to have you back on. I mean, again, one thing I respect about you, you're going to say what you think. And man, it's a good time. And I know our audience loves this. They love getting the truth, understanding the realism behind the sport. Like you talk about the relationship between the coach and player. Tell everybody where they can follow you on social media, man. I follow you. I have a lot of fun following you. Like I said, man, I've got to get you back on. I know you're still balling over there across the pond, but sooner or later, I'm going to get you back on here.
Yeah, man. My Instagram is j.frazier30. And my Twitter is jfrazier30. And just follow me, man. I follow back. I appreciate it. I'm a diehard Georgia boy, and I'm a dog. So it's never War Eagle, but I love and respect War Eagle.
Hey, man. Well, look, the SEC is one big family. You talk about family and, again, it's trying to elevate. But, JJ, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody out there as well joining us. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Get some of that merch. It's flying off the shelves. The grades are going fast. I'm going to get you some, JJ. I'm going to put a shirt on a bird's back and have it fly to Italy if I got to get it set over there. What you want, black or gray? You want black or gray?
Black or gray hoodie. I like the black.
You want black? I got you, man. We get done here. Give me your size. Give me your address. Like I said, we got to, use whatever to get it over there. We'll get it over there. But I really appreciate you. Guys, check us out. Got some more great stuff on the way. Enjoy your March Madness. It's been another edition of the Jboy Show, round ball style, with one of the best point guards to play in the league in a while, JJ Frazier, All-SEC 2017. And like a shot from Corey Kispert, Jboy's gone.
The Jboy Show is produced by David Cohn, Technical Director Dave Hammock, Creative Director David Culbertson, Audio Engineer Feyzan Shareef, Production Assistants Blaine Crain and Kyle Orr, Executive Producers Jake Crain, Vince Thompson, Steve Chamberlain, and David Cohn. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit our website, thejboyshow.com, for updates regarding our newest apparel and merch designs. Win the water cooler with the Jboy Show.